Guten Chodesh Rabbi Isai. The Adam doesn't hear the pump fist. You gotta say it. Welcome to all the guests. Announcement number one is tonight in Hebrew. There's a shir last time we did it with the Reb Dudi Braverman for women. There was over 80 women on Zoom. Tonight there's another beautiful shir from Reb Zevi Katzenellenbogen. There are still parshas available. People agreed to share their parsha. Here's what's available. People agreed to share their amud. We'll make that number available. Here's for all these people that are maskim. I'll read names later. By Chaim Milstein, the Rebbe who came a few days ago. Hi, hope all is well. I was very touched that you knew who I was. I was caught off guard. You constantly mentioned how you're not good with faces and names. I really thought you would ask me your name. I say Chaim Milstein, and not necessarily even put it together that I won the raffle to the Shabbaton. It was really a rewarding feeling. I flew to Eretz Wednesday morning with the family simcha. For family simcha, my sister made a chas on a Wednesday night, so I figured it would be difficult to make it the Thursday night. We had a share of brachos. It's over pretty late. I was asking around about taking a bus. Bekitzer, you have to get up. The first bus is at 6:30. What he's saying is that people that come in from Yerushalayim, like Israel and his father came in this morning from Yerushalayim, you have to get up really, really early. What time do you guys get up? 4:45. Wow, we don't appreciate it. But every day, they come in. This is what he's trying to say. You won't believe how many boys from all grades came over excited to tell me they saw me by the shir. He's saying how he landed in New York and went right to Cheder. Boys that never learned in my class. Boy that just recognized me as the Rebbe from the yeshiva. So basically I would have to guess, for every boy that built up the courage to come over and say something, there probably is another 5 that didn't. So in short, there are many boys in our elementary school, in Passaic, that watch the shir every day. Thank you again. It was such a schus to join a live shir. Shimon Wanik, something like that. Dear Rebelli, I hope you are well. By the way, today's breakfast, Rosh Chodesh breakfast, sandwiches and special drinks. What is this? Fresh squeezed juices in these chashavik cans by Reb Shimon Lefkowitz. He usually comes. If he comes, he'll sit right over here on Mendy's tefillin. Oh, here it is, Shimon Lefkowitz. In honor of Rosh Chodesh and Eli's practice of Ein Anius B'Mokim Ashiros. It's like the third time in just a few months that he sponsored breakfast. Yesher Koyach. I hope you're well. I just want to thank you so much for your daily Daf Yomi Shurim. I joined the shir a year ago, and it has honestly had a huge impact on my life. It has helped me grow in my avodas hakodesh, and I genuinely look forward to the daf every single day. The shir is always given such clarity and enthusiasm. The way Rebbe explains the Gemara makes it even difficult sugis much easier to understand, and the practical lessons of chizuk that come with the learning make it something I really enjoy and look forward to. Today, I finished my school exams, which is a big milestone for me. What makes the day even more special is that I will also be completing my first full year of learning Daf Yomi. For me, that is one of the most meaningful achievements I've had. Throughout these exam weeks, learning the Daf has given me a lot of strength, motivation, and focus, and I'm very grateful for that. So, to me, it's a tremendous chizuk, and I'm very nispal that a person who has to take these difficult exams, has time during the day to learn a Daf Gemara. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to continue learning from little Gibraltar together with MDY family around the world. Thank you, Rebelli, and all the MDY team for everything you do and for the incredible impact you've had on my life and the lives of so many others. With much appreciation, Shimon Wanik, Gibraltar. Yisrael Goldstein and the vape. Yisrael Goldstein stopped vaping. Most probably, he's now searching for a new job because photography is out. He explains. I had Yisrael Goldstein at my simcha as the photographer. And when it came time to take the main family photo, one of the Avodah Kashis Rebbe Mikdash, he came up with a novel idea to get everyone focused and smiling. He took 2 vapes, put them in his mouth, and blew smoke out of one of his nostrils. My stomach still hurts from laughing. The whole family was rolling, from babies to adults. And now he stopped vaping. If a smartphone is mutar l'tzarich parnasa, certainly vape is no. Maybe a vape with a filter. Net-free vapes. Tell Nachman I'm kidding. Mendy Auerbach, hold the weiter inside. I'm almost done this email. I'm a koil yinger man who learns by day in the Daf Yomi koil, where we dive into the daf in depth every day. The treat of the day for me and the way I unwind is when I come home after learning and open up MDY and see the things I learned all day brought to life. Hechetim said that you unwind from learning with learning. Sincerely, Adar Global Specialist in International Services. This thing rings in my ear way too much. Thumbs up to Aryeh. Elio from Bar Park, nephew from Uncle Louis, probably first cousin with Eitan G.
Good morning, Rabbi Sai!
I like that one. It's nicht schlecht. Let's do it again.
Good
Fight for Chai.
Rabbi Sai!
Yaakov Schreiber. Solution to the Sefer Torah sponsors the dilemma. Shalom Avracha, I had an idea to help alleviate the issue of people wanting to join, but everything is already sold. It could be either really good or just simply funny, especially as Rabbi Aryeh, here's the second mention, always takes the turning of the Daf sponsorship. Turning of the Amudim sponsorship. Yeah. Another guy that's making fun of the whole... First of all, I'm excited to be finishing so many Masechtas together. I finished many of them by using your trick of skipping ahead and not looking back. I decided a reason to skip ahead from Brachas Daf Aleph. On a more truthful note, I finished many of them by using your trick of skipping ahead and not looking back. I decided recently to skip ahead from Brachas Daf Aleph. On a more truthful note, one of the amazing things you've done for Daf Yomi is make something cool and exciting to do. Oh, it used to feel like deathable. In today's Daf, the drilling exam was very helpful. However, as the Lakewood resident where you were born, I couldn't help but notice that you weren't using a Milwaukee drill. What's Shaykh's Milwaukee drill? That's where they make it? They make Milwaukee drills in Lakewood? No, I'm a DeWalt guy. There's Milwaukee guys and there's DeWalt. I'm DeWalt, through and through, the yellow. That's me. I have 20 of them, their tools. I reached out to my local LOAI, local Orthodox AI, fixed the issue. He sent a picture, but I'd love to get you a real gift instead, a brand new Milwaukee drill. I'm working on a website so people can contribute toward the gift. Ay. Milsa de B'dichusa.
People will share their drill bits.
Rabbi Isai, you scored for all that course, that toiv, the outpouring of that course, that toiv is beautiful. Mamish. But it turned out to be a hidden charity event. That's what it is. At the end of the day, it's a charity event without charity. Shkoyach Noam. Yankee Baum, Amudim. We're still in the Amudim. We have 245. I don't know how many new people yesterday, but they're still buying Amudim. They're still buying Parshias. Yankee Baum, Hil Kamiansky, Moshe Dax, Yisrael Zelig Weisberger, Moshe. What?
It's really Weisberger.
It's really. Now we know Yisrael Osher Zelig Weisberger. That's why it's Chassidus. The guy that made the mikveh and the mizbeach and everything. Moshe Platnik, I know who he is, all the way from Chicago. Eliezer Ido Horowitz, Hey Klein, Shmuel Moller, Chemi Gurwitz, I know who that is. Zelig Lichtenstein.
You know that is.
Huh?
You know that is too.
I do?
That's Zelig.
Oh, that's who it is. I know most of these people, I just, the names and the faces. Zelig Lichtenstein, Osher Anshel Salomon, Shaya Yaroslavitz, Yitzchok Friedman, Shmulin Dino Gans. Oh, I know who that is, Dr. Gans. That's Benedict's son-in-law and family. Mark, I know who Mark is, but not Mark Roberto. Meir Roberto. Yechiel Perkal, Reuven Klein, Yehuda Chapler, Michael Fuchs, Yehuda Zicherman, Mark and Sharon Katz, Haytham Burstein, Yaakov Aronov. Rabbi Isai, the official edition of the White Shots, the Masechta sponsored by Zevin Yal Sholhoff, the Perek by Ilana Mary Davidovici, Linishmas Ishaya Ben Aaron, and Yochevet Chavi Itel Bas Avraham. Daf Mem Zayin, leshadaf.com. Please read the shidduch today. David Solomon, I spoke to him yesterday. It really is his daughter that got engaged. She's young though. She's like 18, 19 in that area, but I didn't chap. I only saw his son, so I thought he has a 12, 13-year-old. Dedicated in memory of Avi Meir, Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doi Zechroin Levracha. The Palestinian family foundation and gratitude to the consortium and the alliance and all they do to support MDY. Anonymous, Hatzlacha Baruch Nis Ubi Gashmis, and thank you to Chief Benny Shmuel and Ahuva Schuster for continuing Hatzlacha Nachas from our children. Anonymous, Regli Refuah Shleim and Arichas Yom Talei Bas Esther, Binyamin Daniel Rosenfeld, Bris V'Simcha. Monthly sponsors are Simon Refuah Shleim Avi Meir Baruch Ben Miriam. Anonymous, Refuah Shleim for Rabbi Ruchen Ben Yehudis and Avram Shai Ben Slavas Dvara. Amen. The Spanish year sponsors in honor of the first three Baruch Mexican satellite locations: Shmuel Yuda, Bramchik, Moshe Leniado, Yinon Greenberg, Ruben Klein, and Mary Sari Ratza, Bas Baba Peril, on a Yortzid Chav Zayin Sivan, Shalom Sokol. Daily sponsors in honor of my Chavrusa Eli Geller. Big Mazel Tov on his engagement. Tremendous simcha. Yossi Michal Rubenstein. Oh, Rabbi Yossi, I know him. Linishmas is my grandmother, Mrs. Esther Schachter. Linishmas Esther Yudis Bas Reb Shloim Elishal. Lamed Siva. David Shakovitsky, L'Refuah Shleima, Rav Yitzchok Aryeh Ben Chana Shlito, Hadmar. I said this yesterday? Oh, Lamed, you're saying. I got it. No, L'Refuah Shleima. Shlito. Oh, you're saying this one? Lamed Sivan. Yeah, Lamed Sivan's yesterday. Yeah, okay.
His grandmother, he's like 50.
Yeah, it's not like
Hordenka. Yechmiel Taub for the merit of Menachem Mendel Yosef Ben Mindel. Anonymous, Mazel Tov to Murad Nakash on the marriage of his daughter. Mazel Tov. Anonymous, Refuah Shleima to Belis Shashu Basyaf Rivka, who's having a procedure today. Refuah Shleima. MDY kids. MDY art for the month. Refuah Shleima, Yonatan Eitan ben Beshav Bracha. Refuah Shleima Mordechai ben Esther. Refuah Hayeled Daniel Ze'ev ben Ayelet Esther. Huh? Yonatan Eitan ben Beshav Bracha. We're holding 15 lines from the bottom of Daf Memvav with Beis. Wow, what a daf, what a daf. V'omar Rava. Another halacha from Rava. Reya sheyofsha miktsasa treifa. If you have a lung that dried out, one part of it dried out, treifa. Shout out to our one and only who made yesterday's shir and today's shir is going to be phenomenal. And the past year, Rabbi Avram Weisfish, unbelievable stuff that he has sent. You'll see something today. I mean, just a video with Klar Hasbara, crystal clear. A matana from Shemayim. A Talmud Chacham, a great guy, has so many Givaldik every time, throughout Shas, anytime it came to these things, 3 days in advance. Oh, Reb Shimon, Kimaher, we saved your seat. Kim Tzarayin. We have a seat for you. We have a seat. Come to the hot seat. Let's go. Who's that tzaddik?
That's my nephew.
What's his name?
Eli Baum.
Eli Baum. Shalom Aleichem. From? Where are you from?
North Woodman.
Oh, wow. Yesterday we had that the guy with the 2 kids. I don't remember his name anymore. Schwartz. You know Schwartz? Shalom Aleichem. Kum tzarayin. We have a seat just for you. Come inside. Right over here, next to Noam. All right. What a daf. You came just in time. We're starting right now. If you have a lung that dried out, one part of it dried out, it's treifa. Vikama. How do you know what dried out means? 15 lines from the bottom of Daf Memvav Amud Beis. You do the fingernail test. You give it a little kvetch with your fingernail, and you see if it starts falling apart. The problem is that Rava seems like he's going with a das yachid. Kiman kirb yosi ben Meshulam. That's one shita of Rabbi Yosi ben Meshulam, and not like the accepted shita of Chachamim. The sanya, we're talking about a bechar. The firstborn animal goes to the kohen. If you don't have a Beis Hamikdash, you can't shecht it. What do? You have to wait until it befalls a mum. What kind of mum? All sorts of mum. Now, what if its ear dries out? That's a mum, and then you can just eat it as is. You can't sell it you can't weigh it. You have to treat it with kavod, but you can eat it. The sanya is yevesha. If the ear dries out, how do you know if it's dry? Oh, shimtinoke ve'ena moitzia tipas dam. You take a needle, you take a nail, and you put it right through the ear. Interesting. That itself would cause a mum. Okay, you try to see if. Yeah, but miman of shach. I'm just thinking out loud here. So, obviously, it's not a question. It's dry enough. I don't know if that you do it dry enough that if you put it through the ear, it's not gonna no blood. That's dry, and then you can eat it. So over here also by the lung, it should be the same thing. It should be a step before falling apart when you go with your nail like this. And who argues on Chachamim? Now, why in the world would a lung, his Rebbe Avram Weisfish, why would a lung fall apart? Like, why would it dry out? It's not even a joke. You have to see pictures.
Just stop smoking and learn Chullin.
Okay. It's better. It's better. It's getting. The voice is getting close. Huh? It sounds like him because I sent some of his voice notes to me. I sent to the guys and they. All right. Just stop smoking. Start learning Chullin. Hore the kaimo. Sorry. Says the Gemara. Afilu temer rabbanon. This could go like Shitas Rabbanon that what? That it has to do with poking it and seeing if blood comes out, not falling apart with your nail. Gabi oizim bechar, the koshal bazika, where's an ear outside? It's affected by the wind, by the ear, by the oxygen, like hadribaria. So it can't heal. Avareya, the koshal ba'avira, the lung is enclosed inside the animal, the cavity inside. And there's no ear, there's no oxygen. Hadra baria, it could heal from a poke of a needle, but it won't heal if it could fall apart with a nail. Another halacha, Rabbi said these are small sugyas. You go from sugya to sugya. Va'amar Rava, hayreya the kaima gilde. So we have three types of problems here. Here's gilde, scabs all over the lung. Ukme. Now, ukme is a little bit more difficult. Ukme means black. But later on, we're going to see a black lung is treif. So what it means is like a little stain. It doesn't mean it's a black lung. It has a stain. So that's okay. Chezvasa, here it has different colors in it. Here, all three together. Ksheira, that kind of chazusa, chezvasa, depends who put the nakudas there. It's kosher. Omar Ameimar. So it goes like this. If let's say there was a blister on the lung and it popped, the blister popped before the shechita, it's treif. Treif. If there was a blister after shechita and the sheichet, the butcher, as he's removing the lungs, he pops it by mistake after it's kosher. What if you don't know when it popped? You don't know. So you know what you do? You take another blister from, welcome back, you take another blister from the same lung or another lung and you pop it after the shechita and then you compare colors. You say, oh, look, this is what it looks like. It has a whitish tint to it, so it means it popped after shechita. Says the Gemara, you can't do that. It's not a raya. You can't compare two different blisters. You would never figure that one out without Rashi. Makifin bebuye. Buye means like a blister. You can't bring one blister and bring it close to the other and say, oh, the colors are the same, therefore this happened after Shechita, this happened before. Rabbi Sai. This is today's sugi basically. We're going to discuss this, and this is the most common treifa today is something called a sircha. It means that something stuck, part of the lung stuck to some other part. How does a piece stick? Where's this glue coming from? The sircha. I'll show you a lot of little, we'll have a bunch of pictures to understand it very, very clearly. If a lung has a puncture, little hole in it, it's treif. What does the body naturally do? It some sort of liquid comes out of the lung and plugs it up. But that plug is not good. It's going to pop off and the hole remains. So if we're looking at the lung, if the lung is facing us, this is what it would look like. It has two major cavities. There's the right side and the left side. Very, very simple. It has the two giant balloons on the bottom. Those are called uma, like a mother, ima, with a mem. The ones on top, there's 2 and 3. Those are called una. Una is a different word completely. It's not a play on the word. Una means an ear. They look like little ears on top. Now, we're talking about that this lung is reversed. It's upside down. It's really because all these Gemaras are talking about that the animal is hanging like after Shechita, when the guy is checking it, the animal is going to be hanging like this. Here's a vice fish checking an animal. So therefore, when we're talking about what side it is, it's upside down. It's like this, basically. Okay? Just roll with me for a second. When the Gemara says Yemin, it's really when the animal's upside down, head down, but it doesn't matter. On the right side, there's 3 ears. On the left side, there's 2. And if you open up the animal and you find on the right side there's 2 instead of 3, what would that be called? Chaser. It's missing an una. Bye-bye. If there's 3 on the left side, it's also treif, because there's too many. We're going to see. Actually, it's not, what I just said is false. There's 3 exactly over there. If there's 3 somewhere else, too much is also, it ruins it. Okay. Now, what could happen is that you have a sircha, you have a little bit of pus, let's call it pus, comes out and grabs another part of the lung, or grabs, let's say, the rib cage. That's what we had by our shechita. The lung was stuck a little bit to the rib cage with these little sirchas. Okay. So first, let me show you this video of Rav Weissfish. He did a phenomenal job. Oh, it's in Hebrew. A little bit of a problem. Okay, let's try to do. I'll translate for Maki. This is a larger animal, a cow. This is the back part in the back. This is full of fats. That's the major artery from the heart, right over there. That's the opening to the artery. If you look at the front and it's hanging upside down, so now on the right side you have 3 unois. The head is down. One una, 2, and 3. Uma, that's a uma. Another uma, the large one. Another one underneath, 2 unas. So this is a total of 5. That's the Varda Dinyusa, this middle one. That just, some animals have it. Talk about it. If there's a little extra one, if it's down there, it's okay. If it's together with the other unas, it's kosher. But if it's somewhere else funny, then it's treif. If it's over there, it's treif. Or on the back. Okay, beautiful. Now a video that's on 1.65 speed. I guess if you are watching the shiur on 1.5 speed, which a lot of people do, slow down.
The 2 most common trephos that we look for in our animals are trephos of the lungs and trephos of the basic acosis, and the reticulum, the second stomach.
There are a lot of things which mix animal trephos. As a matter of fact, when we shecht animals, we get somewhere between 1/3 and 40% kosher, even though we buy the animals that are more likely to be kosher.
This is how we would check it.
They physically touch the entire thing. That's the sircha right there. Nekev, actual hole.
In Shulchan Aruch, the Simanim Lamed Hey to Lamed Tes talk all about the lungs, but the one that really focuses on the common trephos that we find in the lungs is Siman Lamed Tes. And that's we hear about sirchos, we hear about adhesions. All of this is all one big sircha. This is all one sircha that was connected to the diaphragm. There's a giant machlokes between the Ramah and the Beis Yosef, and they're diametrically opposed. The Beis Yosef holds that circus on the backs of the lungs that stick to the rib cage are in general not such a problem. The Ramah holds that they are a problem. The Ramah holds that circus on the front of the lungs may be removed. The Beis Yosef holds that they cannot be removed. The things that the Beis Yosef holds are kosher. The Ramah holds are 100% not kosher. When we talk about halak Beit Yosef in the United States, it's not only kosher for Sephardim. It means it's kosher even according to the Beis Yosef and certainly according to the Ramah. Somebody who would be traveling in a totally Sephardic community would have to be careful. Something that's totally Beit Yosef might actually be not kosher for somebody who follows the Ramah. Somebody who follows the Beis Yosef and goes to the Ashkenazi community would have to be careful to see that there isn't something that would be forbidden for him to eat.
So when it says Beis Yosef in America, when you see something with a Beis Yosef on it, is it kosher only for Sephardim or for Ashkenazim as well?
You can't assume that it's made for Ashkenaz also unless you inquire.
But so Stark Beis Yosef, for example.
The stock Beis Yosef is kosher for Sephardim and for Ashkenazim. Our basic rule is the rule of the Ramah. However, if the animal comes out to be kosher, even according to the Chava, we call it Beis Yosef.
Those circus can be removed according to a tradition called miyachu mishmash. If you peel carefully off circus, you could peel them off, and you could find the lung totally smooth underneath it, and you could inflate the lung and check that there was no hole. And this is what we do today.
Okay, fine. So that's a sircha. So says the Gemara like this. Now that we know what a sircha is, you have two unos, those two ears that are glued together. Lahadadi. Leis lehu bdika. What's the problem? The problem is that there might be a hole in one of the unas, and now they're glued together, and it could pop off. That's if ear number 1 is glued to ear number 3, not in order. Aval kisidron. But if ear number 1 is glued to ear number 2, the one next to it, its neighbor, hainerivisayu. That's how it grows. It's better for it. In other words, here, first of all, I'll show you this picture. This is a real picture of 1 and 3 touching each other. Right? 1 and 3. They skip over the middle guy and they're touching each other. Look how beautiful they did this. Here's a piece of sircha comes out from 1 to 3 and eventually could pop. That's the problem, because they're not neighbors. They're not neighbors. What happens when it pops? The hole is revealed. It's strafe. But if you have a sircha from 1 and 2, like in this case, so the animal will keep on breathing. It's fine. It's not going to pop. And the una and the sircha stays, and the hole remains closed. Here's a real one, a sircha that's shaloi kesidron. Here you could see a sircha skipping over its friend. So because it's not natural, eventually it will tear. And that's a concern. Says the Gemara, another halacha. You have 2 blisters. Now, every time I hear the word bueh, it reminds me of Reb Chaim Kanievsky. So... There's a bacher that told his friend, I'm going to go to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, I'm going to get Reb Chaim Kanievsky to say the words, Bracha v'atzlacha. He says, no way, he's going to say buah to you. No, I'm going to get him to say. So he goes to Reb Chaim Kanievsky and he says, can I have a bracha? So Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, buah. So the bacher tells him, buza. So he says, mazeh. So he says, what's buah? So he said, bracha v'atzlacha. Hanetarte buah. Not recommended. That'll be chutzpah. If you do that to Dmar, you won't come out. You might get a bracha v'atzlacha, but you're gonna need that atzlacha in the hospital. Hanetarte buah desmichin lahadodi les lehub dikusa. If there's 1 blister, it's kosher. 2 blisters, not kosher. When they're next to each other, you can't check whether or not. Even though if you hear noises coming out, there's no way to check it. What if it's chada u'mischazik etarti? It looks like 2, like so. So here's two blisters next to each other, but this one looks like it's 2 that looks like 1. So there's a way to see if it's 1 or 2. If it's 1, it's kosher. 2, it's not. Maisin and silva, you take a needle, you take a pin, ubazin and you pop it. Ishavchan lahadadi, chadi yikshera. Here, take a look. You go something like this. If you're able to, you see that the liquids flow from one to the other, then it's 1, and memela it is kosher. And if they don't flow from one to the other, tadininu, then it's 2 utreifa. As we saw, there are 5 unois, 5 ears that the lung has. Apa klapi gavra, when the animal's hanging, and we said that ear, nachamal, the animal's hanging towards the boidik, vice fish. And maybe you have 3 on the right and 2 on the left. Tlas miyamino, vetarti mismala, and 2 to the left. Chaser, if 1 is missing. Oh, yatir. So interesting, Rashi says, what's the problem if there's 1 extra? He says, because it's kinatodam. We have to halakhically remove it, and once you remove it, you have a problem. Or chalif. Or instead of 2 on the left, you have 3 on the left and 2 on the right. Treifa, that's a treifa because it's chaser, it's missing 1. Says the Gemara, there was a lung that had an extra piece. Ravacha was hiding by the door. So as the lung comes out of the Rav, out of Meremar, Ravacha said, "No, what did the Rav say?" He said it's kosher. You got to go back. You got to go back. He missed it. He didn't see what's going on. So he goes back to Meremar and he says, "Could the Rav check again?" Says Meremar, "You think I don't know somebody's by the door? Somebody sent you back." Tell that guy that's sitting by the door. The halacha is not like Rava when it comes to an extra piece on the lung. Here's a picture of a real extra piece on the lung, right over here. It's extra una on a lung from Rav Weisfish. The pictures today. Oh, by the way, this is chaser una, missing a una, chalif, just 3 on that side. So that we're going to get to in a second. There's a famous story about the Taz. The Taz was a nister. He didn't want anybody to know who he was, and he was working in a butcher. People would come to him and he was like, "No, that's kosher, that's this," and it started annoying the rabbi that there's a guy in the shlachtois that people are asking questions. They're not coming to the Rav, so they put him in chayrim. They might have even tied him up, and he noticed a girl that was crying. And he said, what's going on? She said she came from the Rav, and the Rav said that the chicken is treif. They don't have money. They have nothing to eat. So he told the girl, go to the Rav, tell the Rav that he should look in the Shulchan Aruch and look in the Taz, the Sefer of the Taz, and sift this and this, and take a look over there. So the Rav opens it up and he sees, the Taz says that this problem is kosher. She said, who told you this? He says, the guy in the butcher that's punished. The guy's being punished. He's in chayrim. So he says, call him here. So call him. He says, what's your name? He says, David. What's your last name? He says, not saying last. He says, he's mashbi'ah. You have to say, I'm mashbi'ah you. You have to say your last name. And he told him his last name, and then they realized that they're dealing with the Taz. And that's the story. You know the story? A lot of people know the story. Okay, fine. I call upon him, go back. This is go back, tell him, v'chule, v'chule.
That's why you only go by rebelling.
No, if you're talking about rebelling, so my father wrote a sefer, Bilam Shem, when he was in his 20s, on Bava Metzia, called Ikviyar. And I remember, I asked my father about it now. So he left it in the shul, he donated it to the shul. So some guy wrote, Ha'aris, he wrote a whole thing on Ha'aris. So, for Ilum Shem, so my father couldn't fight with him, so he had to wait until the night, and then my father wrote back the terrorists. So going back and forth in the Ilum Shem sefer. All right, Ikvei. You know what Ikvei means? Yaakov. That's my father, Yaakov. Then Ikvei. Okay, the real Chazanishnik. Chazanish also. Learn from Chazanish. The Chazanish was a nister. He wrote the whole Chazanish. Nobody knew who it was and what it was until Reb Chaim Moiser told the world about him. He's in his 50s. He's already a Gal Adar, but nobody knew. Says the Gemara, when is the halacha not like Rava that you could have an extra, like over here? You have an extra on this side. It's in the same row together with the other unais. But beina. If you have an extra una down there, somewhere else, like Rav Weisfish showed us, better treifa. So now we're going to talk about the extra one that we have even today. Today we have 6 unas. Why? There's one that was in between, so to speak. It was like in the middle of the lung. Savar Rav Ashi lemitrfa. What is this? What's going on here? I've never seen this before. It wasn't shchiach. So Ravuna Marbar Avi says, Kol hana cheve b'riyasa, hachi yislu. There's a bunch of animals, two pshatim and Rashi, let's call it the second pshat. The healthy, gesunte, fat ones like today, they feed them well, they give them injections, the whole thing. They're going to have this extra one. In fact, says Rashi, that in our days, this is normal. So the question is, if it's normal today to have 6 unois, and 1 una goes missing, treif or not treif? Today, you shecht 100 animals, 99 have 6. That's the norm for these animals. One of them doesn't have 6, he has 5. Treif or not treif? What do you say? L'chayr not treif. Rashi says not treif. Why? Because the norm is, the Gemara tells us, 3 and 2. So this one doesn't have 6, great. But we don't paskin like that, really. I'm pretty sure we paskin, there's machlokes rishonim. Rashi says, it's not nishtana, nishtana tvoya, it's a certain type. It's a breed. The Gemara says, hana briyasa. No, but in that breed, it's the norm.
That breed is a new norm.
Oh, so in that breed, it's a new norm, and the male is missing from that breed. But now you're making up a treifa. It's a chassid for that breed. But we don't pass like that.
We're passing its custom.
Yeah.
Let's see if it lives a year.
Okay, it's low. No. We don't even go like that. Who says that we go like that? That has the treifa. Hachi is low. V'karlu tabachi in inisa de varda. So once again, if you go back to the original picture I showed you, when we're talking about the lungs, here's in inisa de varda. Varda is a rose. That's the extra piece. The one in red is in inisa de varda. Says the Gemara v'hanamili migavoy. Migavoy means in the inside. In the inside, in this context, means when it's facing the sheichet, when he's checking it. Avalagaba. But if it's on the back of the lung, towards the back of the animal, afilu ketarfa da asa treifa, it has a little bit of extra on the back. That's what Ravais showed us. On the back, then it's mamish treif, even if it's the size of a hadas leaf, a very small size. Turning the daf, Tammuz Adar Global, we don't just transfer money, we transfer peace of mind. Encore Healthcare as a schus for all of Klal Yisrael. And by MYK, Omar Afram, Hayreya the Damya the Ufta Treifa. When you have a lung that's similar to wood, let me just make sure I'm not missing. We have over 60 slides today. Here's Ufta. If you take a look, it looks like wood. So the question is, does it look like wood or does it feel like wood? So we have a shaila here. Hayreya, the damya the ufta treifa, lufta, it's similar to wood treifa. Tafim zayin base, 3 lines from the top. Ikadamri b'chazusa, it looks like wood. Ikadamri b'gishta, no, it feels like wood. Ikadamri b'neficha, we're talking about it looks like wood. What does that mean? B'neficha, that you blow it up, it's bloated a little bit, and its color is off. It looks white. So look at this picture he sent me. Weissfish, if I can find it. I don't know why it's not in here where it's supposed to be. That's what I had last night, looking and searching through 60 pictures. Oh, here it is. Look at that. The difference between the two lungs. The top one, you can see there's a top one, it's pinkish. And this is a damaged white lung. This is a lung that never smoked in its life. It's an albino. Even Altzbacher didn't even take a vape. It's a damaged lung. Here's normal, and here's side to side. Okay, it has a little, I don't know what, liver and heart over there. I don't know what's going on over there. Okay. So the problem that it looks like wood means it's white, it's pale. Treif. We're talking about the two sheets. One says it looks like wood, the other one says it feels like wood. What does it mean, the fechiza? It's tough. It's solid like wood. You touch it and it feels woody. No. On the third shita says, no, it's smooth. The less lochi tuche de une. It looks something like this. Take a look. You can't. It doesn't have the different compartments. It's just like one glob of lung. That's the problem. You can't see the unas in it. Now we're talking about colors. Kikuchla kshera. It's bluish, like this is eyeliner that women use. The famous, it has a little box they put, so it's a blue color. Blue, kshera is kosher. Kedyaisa, that's why I said before when we said ukme, here kedyaisa means like ink. Dry ink is black. Black lung, treif. Blue lung, kosher. We're talking about nida. It used to be red blood that turned black. Elo shalaka. This is very important. This word right over here. Elo shalaka. When it comes to blood, we say the blood. How do you say laka in English? Damage. Damage is a good word. Yeah, okay, we'll call it damaged. So by the lung also, when you have a black lung, that's a damaged lung. What does damage mean? Strafe. Black is a sign of damage. You have red blood that turns black, that's damaged blood. So you have a damaged lung. Damaged lung is strafe. Yeruka kshera midirib nasan. Be'ez Hashem, you can feel it in the air, starting, the talk, the excitement about the Sima Shas. So like, maybe probably Daf Beis talks about Yarek Ekarti. What does Yarek mean? Yarek throughout Shas usually means yellow. But in Hebrew, Yarok means green. Today it means green. We're talking about green. We're going to talk about yellow later on. So it can't mean yellow. It means green. Green like green grass, green leaves. Green. Yeruka, when it's green, Ksherim in the Rebbe Nassan. I can prove it from a story that happened with Rebbe Nassan. Aduma, and when it's reddish, Ksherim in the Rebbe Nassan. Also from a very similar story, almost identical story. And that's what's good. We have a bunch of freebie today. We have the two stories that are identical, and we have the same sugi that we had yesterday with the bicycle wheel that you blow up and water and bubbles come out. Word for word, 10 lines freebie. So, Desanya, what's the story? I once happened to be overseas. A woman comes to me, a very tragic story. She did a bris milah on her son, and he died, her first son. It happened this week, just a few days ago. A kid, an hour after his bris milah, died in the hospital. Very sad story. In Hadassah, yeah? The investigating the whole thing, but kids die after bris. Shani, v'meis. We had the sugya that if two brothers die, you don't do bris milah on the third. She comes to the Rav, she says, Reb Nosson, tell me what to do over here. Shlishi v'yatu lefanai. I saw that it was red. To me, this indicated that it's not a problem. The red means that the blood is stuck, came up too much between the skin and then the flesh. And just wait a little bit. It'll recede, it'll go down. Ememela what? Same halacha by a lung. You could take that idea and say, look, if the lung is red, a little bit of a problem, wait a little bit, it'll go back down to where it came from. Omarti lo biti, my daughter, hamtini loi ad shibala boidamoy, wait until it absorbs the blood. I have to say this mice, even though I said it a bunch of times, because when I read it the first time, I literally cried. I don't usually cry by stories. I cry from emails and stuff like that. The story, somebody wrote a story, the famous story. I gotta say it again. The koyach of a Russian woman. This lady in Russia, she couldn't give her son a bris milah because back in the day you were not allowed to. And when he was about 2 years old or so, he's an older kid, at least 2 years old. They were able to hide, and they got a mile, and they did a bris milah. And right after bris milah, they took the baby and they gave it to the mother. And the mother fell on the floor and she fainted. It comes to, they give it. Same thing. What happened? She made a neder that she's not going to kiss her kid unless he has a bris milah. Like this will force her to make sure that he gets a bris milah. And finally, when he's 2 years old, she's able to kiss her kid, and she fainted. Imagine a mother not kissing their kid, not kissing their baby. Unbelievable, Maisa. Anyways, Hamtini, wait. Achi bola boidamoy himtinaloi. She waited. Umaloy sevchay. In fact, the kid lived. Nasan abavli al shmi. His name, they called him Nasan abavli. With the kinoi habavli. Nasan the Chicago. Yeah. Shalom Aleichem. Where are you guys from? What's your name?
Yosef
From?
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim.
Yeah,
Ah. Shalom Aleichem. One minute, I met you before.
that's right. A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. How do I know? Because I asked you if you're related to Moshe or you're from Chicago. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, you said no.
Said yes.
You said yes? A distant cousin.
My first cousin.
Your first cousin.
My brother.
Wow, it's not going well.
Try again.
But I did ask you that. Okay, great. And you, what's your name?
Friday.
3 days ago, they said. What? Chazaka. All right. What are you letting these guys sitting in the same chair again? This is for the guest.
Benny.
Okay, a guy that comes, where do you live? Ah, okay, fine. At what point does a person not be, after 3 days?
Once you remember his name.
Yeah.
The kids, they can stay there forever. Okay, so what do you see from here? That red? Huh? Oh, that's right, you're good. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Toby Spiegelman.
Related to that guy?
He's my uncle.
Wow, what a schos, what a schos.
Baltimore satellite location.
You mean he's by himself? No, there was a bunch of guys there the other day.
I'm the main guy who runs.
You're the main guy, really? Shalom Aleichem, wow, yishkoyach. How many guys do you have, Taka?
We have between 10 to 20.
10 to 20. No, it's not every night.
And then we just started Sunday nights.
And then Be'ez Hashem every day. So I said hello to you, but what's your name again? Say not now. I said last time. Yeah, what's your name? Shalom Aleichem. Related like together, yes. Huh?
I come to Eretz Yisrael with my chavrusa.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, got it. Chavrusas. So it's basically you learn with him more than you learn with your chavrus in America. You hear like every Danish thing. Yeah, Yivaldik. So, okay. Vishum, another one. Another Maisa, same exact story. Different place. A woman came to me, she said her first son died. Did I tell you that mamish happened a few days ago in the Hadassah hospital? A bit. Second one died. So then she comes with the third kid. Now this kid is green. That's weird. And I realized that the pshat is he just doesn't have enough blood in the system. It's tzatzi, but in fact, there's another problem. Two problems. He's green. You don't do a bris to a green kid. But even if they did a bris, there'd be no blood to come out. There would be no hatafas dam, which would be very problematic for the actual bris. Amarti lo, biti, my daughter. Hamtini lo, wait until the before is like let it get absorbed into the body. No, over here we just need a little bit more blood. She waited, and then she did the bris milah, v'chaya, and this kid lived. V'hayu karnoisay nasana bavli al shmi. Omer Rav Kahana. What if the lung looks such a color? This is like for illustrative purposes only, but if it looks a little bit like a liver, the color of a liver, sheira, it's okay. We're talking about the lung, right? The lung looks like liver. Kibisra, but if it's red like meat, treifa. No good. Bisi manach. Ubasa basal treifa. It's a play with words over here. Obviously, we're talking about a treif in this pasuk. But if the basar, if the lung looks like basar, treifa, it is treif. Rav Sam said, the son of Rava says, Hi Reo, the Damio Kichshusa. So now we're looking at yellow colors. Komerika. I'm so excited to share this with you. When we went on our Moroccan trip, so the bus driver says we're going to the marketplace, and everybody was like, How do you buy in the marketplace? Yeah, I'm about to get there. What you do is you ask what the price is, and then the guy gives you the price, like in any. Sure. And whatever the price is, basically you have to knock him down to 50%. If it doesn't work, so you leave, and he runs after you, and it's a whole game. You come back, and eventually he'll give it to you for 50%. So I'm waiting the whole trip, to like try this out. And we're in the marketplace, and these guys are buying shirts. I need something for this year, so they had saffron. So I'm going to buy saffron from Morocco. It's going to be unbelievable. So Benny comes in with me. He has the whole video of it. It's mamish, it worked out beautiful. So I go in, the guy, I said, how much? He says, 50. 50? It's crazy, 50. He says, no, I'm going to give you another gram. You're going to get extra gram. I said, I don't want gram. I want you to knock off some money. He says, no, I can't knock off money. 50. I'm like, no way. No, 50. So I remember the guy said, you walk away. Good. So I walked away. And the guy didn't come running after me. So I, like Ashkenazi American tourist, turn back, go back. So I go back. Trump. So now he starts playing games with me. He's not talking to me. He's broigus. Like, hello, I want to buy something. He's like, hello. So then his brother shows up. Good cop, bad cop. Leave this guy alone. Let me sell it to you. So what my brother tried to sell to you, that's garbage. I'm going to sell you the real stuff. How much total? 100. But that cost 100. I'm like, no, wait. Lemaisa, I'm the first guy ever in Morocco. Instead of paying 50, I paid 100. Maisa Shahaya, I can't make this stuff up. I paid 100 for this. But I'm happy I did, because the Maisa, I just realized that the Gemara, if you look at the saffron, it's red. And we're talking about yellow. Oh, and that's what he said. Look at my schar compared to my brother. And then when I walked out, he's still brigus. I'm not... Benny, am I making this up? Not even a little bit. If you look closely, there's yellow here on the top. And that's what he was trying to tell me, that this is the good schar, it's yellow. And that's the part of the saffron that we're talking about. Not on my white shirt, but over here. Okay, fine. Smell the saffron. But here's the kicker. Last night they told me, Shaita, here in Eretz Yisrael, you get better schayra for half the price. It's 25 shekel a gram over here. He says, okay, what's it? Moroccan. What's Moroccan? Okay, this is one of the most expensive gold. Fine. But if it looks like hops, and I don't know why I have the picture of hops, they're not so yellow, but I really enjoy this picture. I'll tell you why, because I took this picture from 7.5 years ago just to show you what it looked like before Yoshi. How the saffron is in smaller letters, because I probably didn't know how to make the box larger, but I love this part. I wasn't aware that those checkerboard things, that you're supposed to click on it and those disappear and you get a geschmack picture. I thought it's part of the picture back then. Yeah? I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I had a lot of know from this. So the background thing. Kirshusa, hops, ukimarika, these are all ukigoin be'etzo. This one we could relate to. This is the yellow of the egg. So we're talking about a yellow lung treifah. By the way, I got to show you this one real quickly. All the different colors. We said blue is kosher, yeah?
Pay close attention to the colors and the names. What's the matter with you?
It's treif. That's what we're talking about.
Are you colorblind?
Yeah, a little.
Okay, fine. So different colors are different halachas. Yellow is treif. Hello, asked the Gemara, Yeruka the Kshera, this green that you said is kosher, Kikarti, that's like leek. Green like leek, that's kosher. If you have a clogged lung, so we have a beautiful video here. I don't know how you do this without the video. Check this out. If you blow up the whole lung and a little part of the balloon doesn't blow up, you have a problem. That's autumn. Everything's blowing up and that piece that he's holding is not blowing up. What do? Geschmack. You take a knife and you tear it. If you see inside there's a bunch of pus, so certainly it came from the pus, that's why it's not blowing up. But the actual lung is in good condition, and it's kosher. And if it doesn't, if there's no pus, this is the trick we saw yesterday Mark Ashkenazi doing. You take a feather, if it moves around the roik, if the spittle bubbles, then it's kosher. That means it's intact, the lung. Viloi treifa, and it doesn't have bubbles, it's treifa. Rabbi Yosef, krum sholam machmas maka. If you have a scab that came from a wound, bereya on the lung, einay krum. This is a treif lung. Why? Because the scab is going to fall off. the hole will remain, and then it's problem. So this is the sugi we had yesterday, word for word. If you have a lung that's hissing, it's making a sound. If you know where the sound is coming from, you take some spittle, you put it on it. If it bubbles, then it's treif. Now, why would it be kosher if it's hissing? Obviously, there's a hole somewhere. If you don't know where the hole is, I always like this. It's a riddle. Not everybody knows this. It seems so simple. A lot of times in America, especially, you have a truck that doesn't read the sign on the walkway, the bridge, and the truck goes on, hits the bridge. Now, what do? Very simple. You take out air from the tire, and then you pull it out. Upon him, you have here a tire that's hissing away. What do? You put it into a vat of warm water, and you put it inside. You don't put it in hot water, you don't put it in hot water because it shrivels up. You don't put it in the cold water, because it hardens, and if it hardens, it could fracture, it could break. You put it into, I got to do this again because this was so geschmack when Mark Ashkenazi brings me the water. Crazy. All the nuances. But if you want to see how it's done for real, this is mamish, the real deal. It's crazy. Also, unbelievable. Here you see the bubbles. You see those pipes on the bottom? That's air. Fill it up. Hose. Like in a tire place. Fill it up. Then you take the part that's hissing. Look at those bubbles. Unbelievable. Treif. You put it in warm water. If it bubbles up, like we just saw in the video, it's treif. But the problem is, how can it be kosher if it's hissing? Where's this hissing coming from? Obviously, there's a hole somewhere. It says Gemara, there's 2 layers of the, what is it called? How do you say? Krum? Membrane. And the bottom one has a hole in it, so it's hissing, but the ear is trapped between the bottom one and the upper one, and therefore it's not a treifa lung. The upper membrane doesn't have a hole in it. The reason why you hear a hissing sound, it's the ear that's escaping from the lower one, but being trapped by the upper one. We have an incredible video of nishpach kikita. If you blink, you're going to miss it. Here you have a lung, and he sees that something's wrong with this lung. Look what happens. It pours out like a bottle. Crazy. Now, is that kosher or not? Believe it or not, that's kosher. Ksheira. Why? Alma kasar, because obviously he holds chisar mefnim lishmei chisara. And since the problem with this lung is from the inside, that's not considered a problem. If you have a lung that has a hole in it, it says in our Mishnah, a hole, or shechasr, it's missing. Now the problem is, isn't every hole something that's missing? So why the double lashon? It has a hole and it's missing. What's the obvious answer? I think I explained it. You have a hole that's not missing. I can take a screwdriver, push it through the lung. It's going to have a hole, but nothing's missing from the lung. The whole flesh is there. And then you have a drill, made a hole with the drill, that's going to be missing. The parts are going to be gone. So, the Gemara wants to prove from this, my chasra, if it's missing from the outside, isn't that the same thing as a hole? So you must say that chasar means from the inside, and then you see that if you have a chasar in the inside of the lung, that is a problem. Not like you just said that if it spills out water like a ketone, that's kosher because it's in the inside. It is a problem when the chasar is inside. No, what it means is that the chisaron is in the outside. You asked me a question. You proved it to me because then it's identical to the problem called nikva. Basis and poinus are those, the bronchi, I think they're called. So he says you need the hole has to be all the way down till the sympoinus. We have a great video of that. Here we go. Check this out. Here's a hole, and it has to be all the way until the bronchi. This is all, by the way, all created by our artists. Unbelievable stuff that they do. I thought about it. We should get a guy to donate the entire year of the artist. $300,000. Boom. Unbelievable. All this art on him. This is a hole that doesn't have a chisaron. Check this out. What? Okay, whatever. Don't be a chazer. So, it's for the sport. I didn't say pays for the whole thing. That'll be the thing. So anyway, the one on the right you can see is literally missing meat. The one on the left is not missing anything. It has a tremendous hole, but it's not missing. The one on the left, we're talking about the one on the left. Why do you have to have a needle or whatever it is that goes all the way to the bronchi? Because it's not missing meat, so you have to go deep. But a hole that's missing meat, you don't have to go all the way to the bronchi. It's even a surface wound would also be a problem. Let's just do this, because we have a long daf tomorrow as well. Rabbi Chananya Cholash. Rabbi Chananya was sick and dying. All the Gabei Reb Nosson v'chol Gdoilei Adar. All the Gdoilim we had Reb Nosson in this daf with the bris milah, two stories. This is the third time. Now I was thinking about it because I just went to visit a sick person, and all we schmoozed about was shtusim. We had yesterday also. You had the two guys who were running away from the army. What does Gemara say? Oh, he said, the Kazai Sha'amru. You start talking and learning. Here's a person who's dying. What do? Talk and learning. It'll calm him down. They weren't stop shmoozing. No, how's the chemo going? How's the this? How's this lung? This lung, it poured out like water. And he says, it's kosher. You have to make sure that the bronchi are intact. If the lung looks, I'm not going to show you the picture now. I have it here somewhere. But B'kitzur, here's an empty lung. You have everything, but it's all empty. So how are you going to know if the symphonis are kaim? So what you do is, how do you know if the bronchi are intact? You take a piece of like a bowl of earthenware that's glazed, and you pour it out into that bowl. Take a look at this. Here we go. Something like this. You take a bowl and you pour it out into the bowl. So because the bowl is glazed and everything, so you can see very well, you can see what's going on. And if it has these little white strands in there, you know that there's bronchi in there. That means that it doesn't have bronchi. Viloi, if it doesn't have any of these, what do you call them? Streaks. If it doesn't have streaks or strands, kosher. Why? Because the bronchi are intact. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.